Alright, so again, today this is the review. This time I'm going to be reviewing inequalities, and this one's not that much. There was only 4 questions on the test off of it for last year. But let's go over it anyways. First, I'm going to talk about what are inequalities. Inequalities are when you have less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. And when you graph them, you're going to have to do 2 things. First thing you're going to do is pick a line. Second thing you're going to do, you have to pick a shade. Decide where to shade it. So if I give you y is greater than or equal to 2x plus 3, then what I'm going to do is I go look over here, pick a line, and shade it. If you got to pick a line, you're either picking a solid line or a dashed line. This says a solid line, dashed line, dashed line. And shade, if it says greater than, you shade on the top. If it says less than, you shade on the bottom. And that's it. So whenever I have y greater than or equal to 2x plus 3, all I got to do is take out my calculator. Go to x plus 3 and get 2 points. For example, 0, 3, 1, 5. Now I pick a line. This is a solid line, so I use the solid line. And it says greater than. That means I shade above. This arrow points up. Shade that area. And that's how you graph. Now if that was less than, it'll be a dashed line, shade below. Second thing we're going to talk about is when you solve for it. So if it says y greater than or equal to 2x plus 3, that's really easy. Y equals, plug it in, get 2 points, graph it. But if it says something like this, then you're not able to graph it. So you're going to have to solve it first, just like you would solve it in a normal one. But the first thing you want to do is you got to realize that this inequality does not behave like a equal sign. This actually flips if you ever divide or multiply by a negative. So the first part's easy. The first part is we want to keep the y equal to here. So we got to get rid of this guy. Let's go to the opposite sign. So the opposite of positive 2x, the opposite sign, opposite side, opposite sign is negative 2x. So you put negative 2x over here. Just like usual, this is all normal. But when you get to this part right here, you want to get the y by itself. This is the part where you divide or multiply. In this case, we're going to divide by negative 3. And whenever you divide, if you're dividing by a negative number, the inequality flips. And that's a really big deal because now instead of shading the top, you're going to shade the bottom. So when I graph this one, y equals 2/3 of x minus 4. Go to the table. 0, negative 4. 3, negative 2. This is a dashed line. Choose a shade less than, you shade the bottom. So a huge difference between where you shade because you flip the inequality. If you have any kind of word problems, then the main words that cause issues, or for this one, for the less than equal to, you could use the word no more than, because it does not have a greater than sign, and also at most. For this one right here, in a word problem, it's not less than, because again, it doesn't have a less than sign, or at least. These are important to remember that these go with this one, these go with that one. Alright, well that's the introduction. Now we're going to go ahead and do some problems. If you go to the summary portion of this video, you'll see a link to the test from 2016. The inequality questions on those tests were 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 7, 33, 47. Take a minute, go work them out, and then come back to this video and see me work them out so you see if those the information I gave you help. Okay? So go ahead and do so. First question we're going to go through is question number 3. Question number 3 is a word problem. It says a baseball fan can buy tickets for seats in the lower deck or upper deck of the stadium. The tickets for the lower deck cost $42 each. So $42 for what? For the lower deck. So I'm going to look for 42L. They're not using L, they're using X and Y. And X is the lower deck. So I'm looking for 42X, 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 42X. Okay, that didn't help too much. The ticket prices for the upper deck are 75% the cost of the tickets for the lower deck. So the cost of the upper deck, which is going to be Y, are 75%. Now 75%, that's not an actual number. So I take 42 and I multiply it by 75%, which is 0.75, and that's 3150. So for the upper deck, it's 3150. That's here, so I cross this out. And then it says, no more than. If no more than is less than or equal to. So the answer right there has to be B. So if you go step by step, you can totally get these pretty easily. Next question, question number 7. It says graph, this is graph right here, but then say which one is the solution set of this one. Now if you look at them carefully, you'll see this one says equal to, you see this one says greater than or equal to. So I can't use this line, because this line right here is not solved for y yet. And as we solve for y, this can flip. So that makes a big difference about where our answer is going to be at. So what we do is we solve it for y. So the y has to stay. So opposite side, this has to go to the opposite side over here. So I use the opposite sign. That's positive 0.5. The opposite of that will be negative 0.5. So negative 2y is greater than or equal to negative 0.5x plus 3. And now I've got to divide by a negative sign. Now remember, whenever you divide by a negative, you have to flip the inequality. So instead of y greater than or equal to, it's actually y less than or equal to. These cross out. And I got this weird looking decimal, 0.5 divided by 2. And if I make that a fraction, it's 1/4. 1/4 x. And we have minus 3 over 2. Now, it's a solid line. It says less than, so we shade the bottom. So anything in the solution set is in the shaded region. The line is solid, which means the line is shaded, and anything under it is shaded. Now we'll start with the first one. Negative 2, 0.5, not shaded. 2, 1, not shaded. 2, negative 1, right here. See, I almost fell for it. That's 0.5. 2, negative 1, and negative 2, 0.5. The only one that's shaded is right there. That was actually right here. That's your answer. Next one is 33. This one right here, as you notice, there's something here, and there's something here, and that's actually a system. Even though it has an inequality, it's still a system. It's a system of inequalities. So if I go over here and just plug into your calculator, (5) open parentheses 3 minus x. Again, if you don't know what the systems are, watch the video that I did right before this one. Negative 2x plus 6. There you go. Second trace, 5. Let it graph. And you press 3 enters. 1, 2, 3. X is 3. As you notice, the inequality must have switched, which means that when they bring it over, you're going to probably divide by an answer. Now, I could solve it by hand, but there's no need. It's the only one that says 3. The last question has to do with number 47. And again, this one is already y equals to. They're all graphing the same line. It looks like it. The only thing difference is what kind of line they chose and what kind of shading it is. In this case, it is a solid line. And that's greater than, which means you shade the top. This is the one shaded on the top. The answer is B. Okay, guys, as you notice, the inequalities are real simple. The main thing is being able to solve for y and to remember to flip the inequalities if you divide by a negative sign. Good luck.